A mass grave with more than 300 bodies has been revealed at a healing center in the southern Gaza city of Khan Yunis, Gaza Gracious Defense laborers said, taking after the withdrawal of Israeli forces from the range prior this month. Colonel Yemen Abu Suleiman, chief of Gracious Defense in Khan Yunis, told CNN that 35 bodies had been found at the Nasser Restorative Complex on Tuesday, bringing the whole to 310. A few 73 bodies had been found on Monday, Suleiman said. Suleiman charged that few of the bodies had been found with hands and feet tied, and there were signs of field executions. We don't know in the event that they were buried lively or executed. Most of the bodies are decomposed. CNN is incapable to confirm Suleiman's claims and cannot affirm the causes of passing among the bodies being uncovered. CNN has come out to the Israel Defense Powers, IDF, for comment taking after the revelation of the mass grave counting whether bodies that had been buried at the clinic had been disinterred for DNA tests and whether they had been reburied. CNN has sent a few questions to the IDF on Sunday and Monday. Already, a Khan Yunis respectful defense representative and head of the Look mission, Raid Saker, told CNN that they are looking for the bodies of another 400 lost individuals after the Israeli military cleared out on April 7. A CNN stringer who gone by the scene Sunday said individuals had buried the bodies of family individuals who had been murdered within the grounds of the clinic in January as a brief degree. When they returned after the Israeli withdrawal, they found the bodies had been unearthed, clearly since the IDF was using DNA testing to determine whether any of the prisoners held in Gaza were among the dead. The bodies were at that point put in at slightest one collective grave, the stringer said. One man at the scene told CNN that he was, however, to discover the body of his 21-year ancient child, who was murdered in January. I haven't found him, however. We had buried him over there, but we can't discover him. And we needed to form him a better-than-average grave. Another man, who said his brother Allah was moreover murdered in January, said, I am here nowadays, seeking out for him. I have been coming here to the hospital for the final 2 weeks and attempting to discover him. Ideally, I will be able to discover him. Indicating to a fallen palm tree, the man said his brother had been temporarily buried in that spot. I had buried him there on the side, but I can't discover him. The Israelis have burrowed up the dead bodies and exchanged them. They took DNA tests and lost all the dead bodies. The man's mother said they had been looking for 2 weeks and had been incapable to discover his body. Another lady told CNN she had went through 10 days looking for the body of her girl, who had been murdered and buried within the healing center grounds late in January after an adjacent private building had been struck. She said the Israelis have dug out the dead bodies out and they exchanged them. She and her uncle's spouse were buried at the same hour. The mother included, We have found the body of her uncle's spouse, but the rest we can't find them. Saker told CNN Sunday that respectful resistance workforce had been looking for bodies at the medical complex for 3 days so distant, and the operation was progressing. We have data that there are 400 lost individuals, and we are proceeding to explore for the rest of the bodies. The IDF has said it has expelled handfuls of bodies from Gaza for DNA tests in Israel, sometime recently returning the remains in holders. The range around the Nasser Restorative Complex saw seriously bombardment and combat in January and February. At the time, CNN detailed on the burial of bodies within the clinic grounds since of a need of secure get-to cemeteries.